Representative Rosa DeLauro just held up 3 documents and asked Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche a simple question. Are you going to disavow this? He could not say yes. He would not say no. The documents are extraordinary. One is the nearly $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. Blanche says they're not moving forward with that. But the other 2 are still in effect: a settlement and an Attorney General order.
There's still a settlement agreement, and there's still the second document I signed is not an addendum; it's a separate Attorney General order.
Okay.
The order says the United States forever discharges the plaintiffs from any and all claims. That is not a settlement. That is blanket immunity for the president, his sons, and the Trump Organization on their tax filings.
We are going to forever barred and precluded from examining or prosecuting the president, his sons, and the Trump Organization's current tax filings.
DeLauro says it amounts to about $100 million. Blanche says it's not immunity. It's standard. It's a promise.
It's not immunity, ma'am. It's
thank you.
It's a promise.
Thank you. It's immunity.
It's not immunity. It's not immunity.
Then DeLauro asked about the $10 million the Save America PAC paid Blanche to serve as Trump's personal defense attorney. Don't you find a conflict of interest? Blanche said he didn't understand the question. 3 documents, blanket immunity, $10 million. He didn't understand. Let's watch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could just follow up on my colleague, Congresswoman Meng's questions. I have here, this is the order on the settlement, the $1.8 billion. And then this is the addendum to the order, which is about tax immunity. And this is a copy of the settlement agreement. And the Associate Attorney General signed this. These 2 documents were signed by yourself. Now, this is all in writing. This is all. Can you tell us here today that you are going to disavow this, that you're going to rescind what you said to Ms. Meng in writing with these efforts? These 3 documents are in writing. Is that a yes or a no?
So I can't answer that yes or no. Do you want an answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so not yes or no. You gave me 3 documents. The only document I said we're not moving forward on today is the first document identified, which is the anti-weaponization fund. There's still a settlement agreement, and there's still the second document I signed is not an addendum; it's a separate Attorney General order.
Okay. Okay. So, but you're not going to rescind the addendum, not an addendum, the second order?
No.
The only thing you're talking about here, so the blanket immunity is not something that you're going to move back on?
It's not blanket immunity. That's not true.
It is.
No, it's not.
Read it.
Okay. United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, causes of actions, appeals, requests for any reliefs. I mean, this is an order from you, but you're not prepared. You are prepared to say that the president and his family will be barred, are immune from. That's a yes.
No, it was not a yes. I had not answered the question. I can't answer if you want me to.
What are you doing with this?
Okay, so there was a settlement, which is one of the documents you showed. Okay,
right.
Part of the settlement included the second order that you just held up,
right.
And that is still, nothing has changed with that. What I said today, what I've said a couple times today, as what we talked about yesterday, is we're not moving forward with the anti-weaponization fund.
Okay, but you are moving forward with this second order.
It's not moving forward. There's a settlement. There's a settlement that the IRS entered into with President Trump and others, his family and his companies. As part of that settlement, as is customary in IRS settlements, there's a separate AG order.
Friends, listen to what is being said here today. Here, this is really pretty extraordinary, that we are going to forever barred and precluded from examining or prosecuting the president, his sons, and the Trump organization's current tax filings. Simply put, you just gave the president and his family a tax immunity to the tune of about $100 million.
Not true.
Well, yes, you have, my
No,
friend.
it's not true.
You know, look, and I just want to say this. The Save America paid you nearly $10 million between March of 2024 and December of 2024 to serve as the President Trump's personal defense attorney. My God, don't you not find there's any conflict of interest in what you are doing here as the acting Attorney General of the United States?
I didn't. What are you saying is a conflict? I don't understand what you're saying.
Listen.
The fact that I used to have a job and I have a current job?
You know, I've got less time left, but I am going to reclaim my time because I think you have clearly answered where you're going on what you're doing on this, is that you've taken one piece and you said, okay, we have had a ton of backlash on this on this $1.8 billion slush fund. However, so we'll not move on that, but as part of the settlement, which you've said, which is this immunity for the president and his family and his business, et cetera, that stands. Thank you for that.
It's not immunity, ma'am. It's
thank you.
It's a promise.
Thank you. It's immunity.
It's not immunity. It's not immunity. Okay, so it's not immunity. What it says is like any time the IRS settles with an individual taxpayer or another company as part of the settlement, it's standard. It's typical to get rid of past ongoing audits. It's not a forward-looking document. It's nothing that gives any sort of immunity in the future to the president or his family or his organizations. And so by you saying that, it's not true.
By you saying what you've said, it is not true. So thank you, and I yield back.
This hearing is a masterclass in how to use documents to pin down a witness who is determined to evade. Representative Rosa DeLauro came prepared with 3 pieces of paper. She held them up, she read them, and she asked Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche a simple question. Are you going to disavow this? He could not say yes. He would not say no. He said he could not answer yes or no. That is not an answer. That is a confession. The 3 documents are a web of interlocking commitments. The first is the nearly $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. Blanche announced yesterday that the administration is not moving forward with that fund. The backlash was too intense. Even the administration's allies could not defend a slush fund for people who claim they were weaponized by the Biden administration. But DeLauro noticed something. The other 2 documents are still in effect. One is a settlement agreement. The other is an Attorney General order. And that order contains language that is breathtaking in its scope. United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, causes of actions, appeals, requests for any relief. That is not a narrow release of specific claims. That is blanket immunity. For the president, his sons, and the Trump organization, on their tax filings. Blanche's defense is twofold. First, he says the order is not an addendum. It is a separate Attorney General order. That is a distinction without a difference. Second, he says it is standard. It is typical. It is customary in IRS settlements to get rid of past ongoing audits. But DeLauro is not asking about past audits. She is asking about the future. The language says, forever barred and precluded. That is not past. That is present and future. That is immunity. Blanche then makes a remarkable admission. He says the order is a promise. A promise. Not a legal document, not a binding agreement, a promise. That is not how the IRS operates. The IRS does not issue promises. It issues rulings, determinations, and settlements. The word promise is the language of a politician, not a lawyer. Blanche is trying to soften what the document actually says because he knows that if he admits what it says, he admits that the administration has given the president and his family tax immunity. DeLauro then asks the question that should end Blanche's career. The Save America PAC paid him nearly $10 million between March of 2024 and December of 2024 to serve as President Trump's personal defense attorney. He was Trump's lawyer. He took Trump's money. He defended Trump in court. And now he is the acting Attorney General of the United States, overseeing the very department that would investigate Trump if anyone had the courage to do so. DeLauro asks, "Don't you find any conflict of interest in that?" Blanche says he doesn't understand what she is saying. That is not plausible. He is a lawyer. He understands conflict of interest. He understands that representing a client for $10 million and then becoming the top law enforcement officer in the country is the definition of a conflict. He understands that he should have recused himself from any matter involving Trump. He did not. He says he doesn't understand the question because he cannot admit the truth. The underlying issue here is not about the $1.8 billion fund. The administration has already backed off that. The underlying issue is about the other two documents, the settlement, the Attorney General order, the blanket immunity for Trump and his family. Blanche says it is not forward-looking, but the language says forever. Forever is forward-looking. Forever includes the present and the future. Forever means that no matter what Trump does, no matter what his sons do, no matter what the Trump organization does, they cannot be prosecuted for tax-related crimes. That is not standard. That is not typical. That is unprecedented. And Blanche knows it. DeLauro's closing line is the most important part of the hearing. She thanks Blanche and yields. She does not get an answer. She does not get a commitment to rescind the order. She does not get an admission that the order gives immunity. But she got something else. She got a record. She got Blanche on the record refusing to say that the order is not immunity. She got him on the record saying he doesn't understand a basic conflict of interest question. She got him on the record saying the order is a promise. That is not a win, but it is not nothing. In a system that protects the powerful, sometimes the only thing you can do is create a record. DeLauro created a record.